Put an end to whatever you're doing. For what I have in store for you is more than simply a scandal. It's the decade's biggest scandal. The internet is booming. Gossip sites have completely gone crazy. The name Chrissy Lampkin is also often whispered in the streets. Yes, the same Chrissy who established her reputation on drama, diamonds, and Dipset is the Cameron affair. Loyalty is now facing the hard, icy reality of a court decision. Chrissy has allegedly been caught lying under oath on her supposed explosive romance with Cameron, according to sources. Yes, you heard me correctly. Cameron, the Dips at Jim Jones's best friend Dawn, became a forbidden flame. How did we arrive here? Was it carelessness, desire, or treachery? Or did Chrissy actually think she could beat the legal system? Similar to how she portrayed the Love and Hip Hop cast, no one could have predicted the depth of the treachery. Families and friendships are broken, devastated. The betrayal receipts are said to be indefinite. And you won't be able to express how Jim Jones responded. You believe you've witnessed drama. You haven't yet seen anything. Remain locked in. The world has been waiting for this disclosure. And believe me, things are going to get even more ugly. As they say, expect a nasty gift when you play dirty games. And to Chrissy Lampkin, that prize resembles a chilly steel prison cell. Behind her, the courtroom doors slammed. However, everyone wasn't frozen by the gavel's echo. Inside, the story was falling apart due to its sheer boldness. A woman named Chrissy Lampkin used to walk confidently across reality TV screens as if she owned. The entire network was now at the heart of an embarrassing, convoluted affair that even seasoned judges found shocking. The reporters blinked twice. At its core are deception, treachery, and a name that has plagued the Dipset legacy for years. Cameron. There were rumors for months. Did Chrissy and Cameron have a deeper connection than friendship? Was it simply loyalty to the Dipset family? Or had hazy boundaries become outright treachery? Theories circulated on the internet more quickly than Chrissy could upload selfies. It was all jumbled rumor mill rubbish up until now, though. That is, until she spoke up in a legal proceeding. Leaked court documents and explosive testimony indicate that the Chrissy Lampkin came before a judge and testified under oath that she had no inappropriate contact with Cameron. According to the information that was leaked to several blogs anonymously, she vowed to be nothing more than a devoted fiancé of Jim Jones, a woman unfairly singled out by envious opportunists and haters. The problem with lying on oath, however, is this. It's perjury, not just poor public relations. Additionally, perjury is a first-class ticket to jail. Courtroom insiders recounted the moment the prosecution revealed the shocking information. Grainy and wobbly, but obviously damning, is an alleged private video that shows Chrissy and Cameron getting too close during a purported business meeting. Furthermore, by comfy, we're not engaging in courteous conversation and giving side hugs. We're talking about secluded booths, full-on lip locks, and hushed chats that have never been necessary in a business transaction. The jury gasped. Jim Jones was said to have hung his head in his hands while seated in the rear of the courtroom. Chrissy's jaw was set so firmly that it could shatter glass as she gazed straight ahead. To make matters worse, Chrissy and Cameron's text messages were revealed aloud in court. Messages brimming with familiarity, interspersed with discussions, flirtations, and covert meetup arrangements about keeping things private. You could undoubtedly hear the nationwide gasp of Dipset aficionados if you paid close attention. Let's face it, Chrissy has never been particularly the embodiment of subtlety. She based her reality TV career on drama, antagonism, and memorable meltdowns long before this incident blew up. Recall the notorious punch. When she decked Camilla on Love and Hip Hop, was it a global sensation? Or the innumerable times she screamed and sobbed in front of crowds across the country, demanding that Jim put a ring on it? Chrissy was the drama. She wasn't simply the drama. She now appears to have run afoul of the law due to the same desire for mayhem. But hold on, things get worse. Because if you haven't heard the rumors circulating about what initially prompted Chrissy to lie, anonymous insiders, if you didn't think her facing perjury charges was incendiary enough. Insiders who are anonymous. Naturally, there are always unnamed sources who assert that Chrissy wasn't merely defending herself. Oh no. Allegedly, she was attempting to safeguard a lot of larger, much more repulsive secret involving Jim Jones, Cameron, and some really dubious economic activities. Chrissy allegedly worried that if her personal relationship with Cameron were revealed, it would cause a number of financial entanglements between the off-the-books investments, money laundering rumors, a Dipset crew, and covert side projects that no one wanted the Fed to look at. Therefore, lying under oath meant more to her than only keeping her face intact. The goal was to save everything. Of course, your intentions are irrelevant to the court. You're done when you lie under oath. And at this moment, Chrissy Lampkin's goose isn't merely cooked. It's completely burned, according to court illustrations. Within minutes, screenshots of courtroom doodles began to circulate on social media, as if the humiliation couldn't be much worse. Chrissy, appearing pale, rigid, and obviously shaken, swiftly rose to prominence as the most popular new meme on the internet. Instagram was swamped with captions on everything from love and hip-hop to lying. Lockups and Chrissy's new popular show, Courtroom Confessions. Twitter. Cameron, meanwhile, remained completely silent, not even posting a sentimental Instagram post or making a statement, as if he were too fortunate to be under stress. As well as Jim Jones. However, those same buzzing insiders claim that Jim is distraught, humiliated, and supposedly planning his next move because public humiliation only goes so far in a boss's allegiance. By day's end, it was evident, on the first day of the trial, that Chrissy Lampkin was dealing with more than simply a PR problem. She was battling for her independence. Furthermore, if the prosecutions, she wouldn't simply lose in court if the evidence continued to mount like it did during opening arguments. She would lose everything she had worked so hard to get over the years. However, what followed would, because the prosecution wasn't finished, this tale went from sensational to completely disastrous. Unfortunately, they had one more secret weapon: an eyewitness. A witness that no one anticipated. Everything, including Chrissy's defense, her relationship, and her reputation, fell apart in real time when that individual took the stand. There was so much tension in the courtroom that you may use a knife to cut it. Leaning forward, eyes wide, phones gripped tightly, every journalist, blogger, and courtroom observer was poised to create the next viral headline. The mystery witness then opened the doors. Here comes the unidentified witness. Calm and cool, a man moved forward, holding what looked like a heavy folder of papers beneath one arm. The buzz began immediately. The walls echoed with whispers. Who was this? Was it a former companion? A betrayed former assistant? A confidant? Nobody knew the solution. Order was called by the judge. After taking off their sunglasses, the individuals showed themselves to be none other than someone nobody had anticipated. For legal reasons, we'll call the former Dipset tour manager Mr. X. Everyone in the courtroom held their breath. Mr. X possessed handwritten notes, emails, wire transfers, receipts, and even transcripts of purported late-night phone conversations. As said by Mr. X, according to rumors, Chrissy and Cameron had been meeting for business for much longer than anyone had anticipated. Not months, but years. We provided coverage for them, Mr. X stated. Coldly, his voice matter-of-fact and chilly. Entire journeys were covered by hotel bills under fictitious corporate names. Drivers were paid to remain silent, and meetings were conducted in private as Dipset promo runs. Bloggers were unable to type quickly enough, and the courtroom gasped as they hired spaces behind shell corporations to meet in private. And to top it all off, Mr. X claimed that Jim Jones knew nothing. As the testimony continued, more alleged evidence emerged, including photos purportedly showing that he was so preoccupied with maintaining the Dipset brand that he failed to notice what was going on beneath his nose. Cameron and Chrissy were seen in pictures taken by private detectives hired by suspicious insiders boarding private planes together, checking into hotels hours apart, and departing together in the morning. One of the pictures even revealed Cameron. Outside of a now-closed bar in Atlanta, Chrissy was given what looked to be a diamond necklace. The internet went crazy with the hashtags Josh Chrissy Lies, Josh Dipset Scandal, and Cameron memes filled all platforms as Gate trended for days. One viral graphic featured the Mona Lisa and Chrissy's courtroom sketch side by side, both of them sporting the same deadpan expression with the message, "When fans stand up for Chrissy because they know it wasn't worth it to lie under oath." YouTube drama channels garnered millions of viewers, and fake TikTok attorneys started examining the issue. Hours with stories like Jim Jones's treachery and the untold truth about Chrissy and Cameron's affair had fans furious, with some steadfastly standing up for Chrissy. Jim has always been kept down by Chrissy, according to one fan testimony. "I don't think this is true at all. Cameron must be trying to gain influence. We've been new. Chrissy was messy. Sis remained messy on Love and Hip Hop. This is nothing new." Others were less tolerant. Even celebs started to comment. "The streets always talk," said an imagined tweet from fellow Love and Hip Hop alumnus Erica Mena. "And I must add that I'm not at all shocked." A troubling financial picture was portrayed by the courtroom documents that were leaked to specific websites, but the turmoil wasn't just on social media. According to one entry, Chrissy had reportedly borrowed huge sums of money under false pretenses from Dipset associates, requesting $250,000 for a house remodeling project and then allegedly funneling the money in the direction of hush money for a private investigator who threatened to reveal her and Cameron. If accurate, this would be fraud and racketeering, a charge that had already raised rumors of a possible, whether it was false information or not, the damage was done, according to the RICO probe. Chrissy's famous poker face barely cracked as day after day went by in court, but behind the scenes, sources said that panic had fully set in. Chrissy's staff is plummeting. They are reportedly pleading with Cameron to release a statement that clears her identity, but Cameron is reluctant to become involved, an insider told an entertainment blog. He's avoiding everyone. Jim Jones reportedly packed his bags and fled their New Jersey home just hours after the video footage was shown in court, according to unverified claims. Jim appears hurt. Not angry, not loud, just numb, another purported source told the same blog, like he was finally broken by the betrayal. Even mainstream news agencies that typically shunned reality TV scandals were powerless to resist as the courtroom spectacle continued into its second week. What Would Cameron Say? Was published in the New York Times, going from legal ruin to hip-hop royalty. What happened to Chrissy Lampkin? Even worse were gossip publications. Chrissy's face appeared on a tabloid cover with the scathing phrase, "Lies, love, and shut up." One question persisted, though. What would Cameron say? Would he testify? Would he break his silence? Then the moment that rocked the already tumultuous courtroom arrived. Cameron was called as a surprise witness by Chrissy's legal team on the 7th day. Inside, cameras were prohibited. But news of Cameron's arrival spread like wildfire. With guards on either side, he was at the courthouse with a hoodie pulled down over his face. What came next? No one was prepared. Courtroom sketches show Cameron grinning as he answers the million-dollar question. The same one that fans of Dipset were all too familiar with. "Mr. Giles, did you have an inappropriate relationship with Ms. Lampkin?" The lawyer said as the room became silent. "Define inappropriate chaos," Cameron said, leaning over the microphone as the courtroom clock ticked away. Completely unfiltered disorder. The judge slammed the gavel and demanded, "Order Cameron's answer or non-answer sent the internet into complete meltdown mode." The courtroom erupted in whispers and gasps. The headline that went viral said, "The damage was done." Chrissy's credibility vanished and her defense fell apart. The question was no longer whether Chrissy Lampkin would be found guilty, but rather whether the prosecution would strike first, setting the stage for the cruelest day yet: sentence. Reporters flocked to the courthouse entryway, which was a battle zone inside the courtroom, since that was how terrible it was going to go. Cell phone-wielding fans pressed up against the barricades in the hopes of catching even a hazy glimpse of Chrissy Lampkin. As the judge was about to make the announcement that everyone had been anticipating, the music sentence, Chrissy sat motionless and silent in the courtroom, with her legal team at her sides. Her face was devoid of the glitzy defiance she used to sport like a high-end accessory. Cameron, as usual, vanished into the New York night without saying another word, and Jim Jones was nowhere to be found. The judge, who insiders characterized as stone-faced, and the courtroom was so quiet you could hear the reporters' pencils scratching frantically on notepads that the verdict was delivered without any delay. Because you deliberately gave false testimony under oath about your relationship with Mr. Cameron Giles, also known as Cameron, you have been found guilty of perjury and obstruction of justice. The court said, Ms. Lampkin, due to the overwhelming evidence, Chrissy's attorneys pleaded for compassion, pointing to her history of humanitarian activity, including a well-known but potentially fraudulent foundation for hip-hop women entrepreneurs, her emotional anguish, and, of course, her devoted "you showed off your power and treated this courtroom like another reality TV set." But the judge wasn't having any of it. The judge went on, "You're going to discover that the legal system doesn't function on a predetermined plot, drama. The punishment included 5 years of probation, 12 months in jail, and required community work." The courtroom erupted, and one witness to the Chrissy sentence said, "Not my queen. She finally got what was due to her." The A went nuclear. Chrissy's sentence became viral. Another was heard murmuring. The Chrissy Chronicles, even late at night, was swamped with memes. One especially cruel post featured Chrissy in an orange jumpsuit superimposed over the Love and Hip Hop logo, which has since been renamed Lies and Lockup. Chrissy always wanted Jim to put a ring on it, so comedians capitalized on the trend. The punchline was delivered by a fictional clip of a talk show presenter. "Wait, boss, it went even messier from diamonds to defendants within 24 hours of the ECE." What? The court simply slapped her with an ankle bracelet instead. At sentencing, there were allegations that VH1 had approved a special 2-part documentary series called From Diamonds to Defendants, the Chrissy Lampkin story, which would follow Chrissy's legal demise. Fans of Dipset were divided over the purported project, which promised exclusive footage, interviews from jailhouses, and bombshell revelations that the court couldn't even touch. Some diehards referred to the whole thing as a federal setup. "This is bigger than Chrissy," one fan wrote on Twitter, asserting that Chrissy was being singled out because to her affiliations with influential hip-hop artists. This was a takedown of Dipset, period. Others weren't so understanding. Chrissy got injured after playing with fire, according to a widely shared Instagram caption beneath a video of her sobbing in court. Chrissy wasn't the only one affected. Jim Jones switched down his phone and disappeared from all social media, according to insiders, and his final tweet, which was a mysterious black screen with the words, "Sometimes silence says it all," became the Cameron leaving Chrissy was the new internet craze. Was he planning to make a permanent breakup with Chrissy? Sue her for humiliation in public? Was he quietly negotiating with Netflix for his own documentary, Jim Jones, The Betrayal Diaries? Cameron, as usual, remained silent. He shared a picture of himself at a Knicks game courtside with the simple remark, "Still winning, the audacity, the disrespect," 1 week after the sentencing. It became viral on the internet. Chrissy's staff hurried to repair the damage, and according to anonymous sources, she intended to appeal, claiming that celebrity bias had the price of fame as the only prejudice present here. Unfairly affected her trial, but the court of public opinion had already spoken. Even phony legal specialists on YouTube chimed in. The hits just kept coming. In a strange turn of events, a tell-all book deal was purportedly leaked. Is Chrissy assuming she could fool a judge the way she used to mislead reality show producers? Chrissy Lampkin's tentative book, The Price of Fame, My Side of the Story, left industry insiders wondering if it would be a sincere confession or just another attempt to change history. Just when you thought it was finished, there were reports that federal investigators were secretly investigating the alleged financial malfeasance linked to the entire issue. There's a lot of money that moved around, a fictitious source close to the probe said, and her sentence may just be the beginning. In odd ways, tabloid headlines proclaimed, the DePet family, once known for their close bond and flamboyant brotherhood, was now publicly shamed. If she believed this was the end, she's in for a rude awakening. Cameron fell silent. Jim Jones is not there. Chrissy was put in jail. And the viewers taking in everything as if it were the last season of the messiest program they have ever seen requested, but was unable to quit binging. The public was aware of one thing when the dust settled, and Chrissy was escorted out of the courtroom in handcuffs, sporting fancy sunglasses and a defiant expression. It wasn't over yet. It was just the start of a controversy that would be examined, discussed, and argued for years to come. What do you think then? Because Chrissy Lampkin lied about her alleged affair with Cameron, did she deserve to be fired? Was this merely another instance of celebrity conceit colliding with reality? Faced with the harsh realities of life? Or was it, as some think, a planned hit job intended to permanently destroy the Dipset empire? We would want to speak with you. Did justice get done? Was Jim Jones the final casualty of this outrageous betrayal? Is Chrissy's time in the spotlight officially finished, or will she have a redemption story? Post your ideas, hypotheses, and most outrageous conspiracy theories in the comments section below. Let's start a heated discussion. Additionally, boss, if you believe that this was the most outrageous narrative surprise of 2025, know that we're only getting started, began. Make sure you hit the like button, tell your other Scandal fans about this video, and above all, click the subscribe button to turn on alerts. You want to avoid missing what we're planning to prepare next. From startling courtroom betrayals, this channel is your front meltdowns. Seat in the row with the messiest, most astounding, and occasionally totally amazing scandals on the internet never observed. Till the next time, maintain your get your popcorn ready. The drama never sleeps.